historic week for Hillary Clinton. Clinton clinched wins in primaries in 4 states, including California, giving her enough delegates to become the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. But she's still battling her email controversy and a lingering Bernie Sanders, who says he's staying in the race despite President Obama's formal endorsement of Clinton. And a day after receiving the endorsement, Clinton met with Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, immediately rekindling rumors that she was vetting Warren to be her vice president. Would an all-woman presidential ticket secure your vote, or would it help Trump, who has launched attacks on women? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also weigh in on Twitter. Just use the hashtag Fox26for Life. Joining us live in the newsroom this hour is our panel, led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant, Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. So Sanders says he's staying in the race through the D.C. primary. What do you make of all that?
Well, Hillary Clinton is looking at him kind of now like a gnat. When's this guy going to go away? And we're going to talk about it. I got her. Every week I try to find something to make Jackie laugh out loud. I think what's happening, we're talking about, I think what's happening is Bernie Sanders told his people he was going to stay into the end, and I think that's what he's doing. But he cut his campaign staff in half, and he's not campaigning this weekend. So I think he just said, look, I said I would do it, I'm going to finish this thing out. But I think after this primary, Jackie Bally, you're going to see him endorse Hillary Clinton next week.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's going to do, because after meeting with the president, he was very defiant in his speech. He said, I'm not going to turn it over to oligarchs, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that.
It seems like he doesn't have any other speed.
It was sort of like he was still taking stabs at Hillary, and when Hillary she clinched the nomination, he didn't even acknowledge it. He just said, well, I still have the numbers, do the math, I can still do that. So the way he's still talking like someone who is in it until he goes to the convention. I actually think what's going on is he has a serious platform that he wants the party to take notice of. And up until this point, they were ignoring him. Hillary was ignoring him for the longest time. I mean, and Donald Trump has made more of an outreach to Bernie Sanders supporters than Hillary has. And so I think now Hillary is saying, look, this man raised $40 million in one cycle. He continues to win in certain primaries, and he shouldn't have. So maybe I should pay attention to him. And I think he's finally gotten the attention of the establishment in the Democratic Party. Yeah,
I mean, I think that may be a little bit of an overreach, because I think they have been making inroads to him, but he just wouldn't go away. But he did bring a lot of people to the party, and maybe that's why he stayed in.
Well, I think he's defined a lot of what the conversation's been on both sides of the aisle in this campaign. He brought up the issues that we weren't really talking about, so he had a significant impact on what this election cycle is and what the election cycle is about. And he's likely to step down. I mean, we saw Elizabeth Warren came right after the president's endorsement. Elizabeth Warren came out, and the Democratic Party is coalescing. You're going to see consolidation of the Democratic vote. You already see a bump in Hillary Clinton's poll numbers. You're going to see a considerable bump in the coming weeks. The parties come together.
All right, let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Okay, let's head over to Twitter and see what some people are saying there. At GoGreen18 says, congrats, Hillary Clinton. Truly a powerful moment for women. Not to get greedy, but she's praying for a Clinton-Warren ticket there. This person says, Bernie's going down fighting on to D.C. and then Philly to fight for social, economic, and environmental justice. Said he'd work with President Obama. And then Lou Dobbs from the Fox Business Network, he put out this, hypothetical poll. Would the dream ticket of Clinton or Warren be a dream or a nightmare for Donald Trump? Most of the people that responded to him said it would be a dream for Donald Trump, that ticket.
And that was I'm glad you put that up, because that's what I want to talk about next is who would be a good pick for Hillary Clinton. And what about that if she picked Elizabeth Warren? Elizabeth Warren is certainly not afraid to go right in Donald Trump's face, and does it in a way that Hillary Clinton just can't.
Well, Elizabeth Warren actually is someone who is completely opposite of Hillary Clinton, and people in her own party is calling her a sellout, because she's anti-business, anti-Wall Street, and here she is now endorsing someone who is very much Wall Street. And so some people in her own party are saying that she's a sellout. With that said, Hillary is really not getting the attention of men. So if she were smart, she would pick a running mate that could help her in that demographic. Younger people and men, they are the ones who are turned off by her, and they're the ones who are not voting for her, and that's really who she needs to focus on. And she already has the minorities, but she needs to focus on men and younger people, and Elizabeth Warren is not the one for that.
What about that?
Well, you know, I was in D.C. and somebody asked the same question. You know, can we have two women, running mates? And I was like, well, my gender's had the monopoly on this, and we hadn't done so well, so it might be time. But I think that she's likely to head to Tom Perez. That's what I think where this is headed. I think Elizabeth Warren would make a great vice president, but. There is we do have to kind of reach out to the rest of the base. 54% of the women are voters. I mean, so their majority of the voters now are women voters.
And you've also got the problem that if she picks Elizabeth Warren, you lose a Democratic senator because her governor is a Republican, and he would certainly is not going to appoint a Democrat.
Right.
What about Castro?
Yeah, he's a name that we've had floating around, and I think. Actually, he would help her, and so would Perez help her. I've heard Perez more. But I also think that Hillary needs to look at the fact that a lot of people still are bothered by this email scandal that she ignores. 60% of the voters believe that she did something criminal. And even the press secretary from Obama's administration said they're looking into a criminal investigation.
How does she get
so her running mate has to be somebody that's more trustworthy, which looking at her numbers, that shouldn't be too difficult. But Elizabeth Warren brings a lot of things to the table that people will be looking at very closely. A Castro and a Perez would not.
How does she get ahead of this email scandal? She said repeatedly to the FBI, call me, I'll talk to you. If they're not going to interview her, what's she going to do?
Yeah, I think, look, this will just keep playing, and it's been playing all of the Clintons' history. Has been there's always some scandal that's around the corner that just keeps like, it's going to be the end of them, and it's not. I think Donald Trump's going to talk about it a whole lot, but at the end of the day, there is nothing there. So this will come to an end.
Well, you also got the committee that's going to come out. Trey Gowdy is just waiting until September, October to come out with his report. You know, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a good report for Hillary Clinton. They haven't released it because he's going to wait until after she gets the nomination to put out a scathing report.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to actually see Hillary Clinton get indicted, because the fact that the president has endorsed her, and he said, and then he came out shortly after, someone from his staff came out and said, oh, but don't worry, her investigation is going to be done fairly. I don't believe that. So the fact that the president is endorsing her and then his people are investigating her, yeah, I don't think nothing's going to, I don't think anything's happening to Hillary.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. We'll be back in the next hour with two really good topics.
Okay, we look forward to talking with you all then.